Oh, hey there. Glad you could stop in. I was just doing a little bit of painting, and I thought you might like to give it a try. Today we're doing birds. I thought we could try approaching it in a few different ways. First, a simple, stylized, fun kind of version. Also, a more realistic, more advanced kind of version. And then finally, a loose, wild kind of thing. Come on, let me show you. So here's what we need for our supplies today. Watercolor paints, some water that's not 100% clean, don't care, it's fine, deal with it, some brushes, paper, and a pen today. So I'm going to start with the simple, fun, stylized version of the bird that we're painting today. And to do this version, what I want to do is start with the pen, ink out the outline of the bird, and then paint it in. Just seems like it'd be more free and fun without penciling it in first. And in order to do this, you need to make sure that your pen is waterproof so that it doesn't bleed when you start painting on it. I happen to know that microns are waterproof because I use them a lot, so we're just going to go for it. If you want to test if yours is, then you just draw on some scrap paper and try painting on it. And if it bleeds, then don't use it for that. Use it for the outline after the paint is dry. Or if you don't have a waterproof pen, just pencil it in and then ink it when your paint is dry. Okay, so today what we're doing is drawing and then painting a blue jay, because we happen to have blue jays out in our yard occasionally. They live in the neighborhood somewhere around here, and they like to come over here and pick up scraps or take a bath in the lake that forms out in front of our house every time it rains. And I like seeing them. They're so pretty. I feel like we don't have that many of them here. At least I don't see that many of them here. So it's really nice. A nice little surprise from nature when they show up. And they've got this little, I don't know, cap thing on the back of their head. It's really distinct. Just give them some tail feathers. Shake your tail feathers. And I want to get his wing in here, but before I do that, I feel like I should get his eye. And they've got like a black neck cap thing on the back of their head. You can just look up pictures of whatever bird you decide to draw online and just take inspiration and reference from all of them, from all the pictures. If you're making art professionally, you don't want to copy somebody else's photos or anything directly. You can get in trouble for that. But since this is obviously not going to look exactly like anybody's photograph, it'd be a crazy looking bird. I think we're fine. So I just want to get that in there. He's got a black collar, comes around the front. Usually it has a black line that goes from their marking on the back all the way through past their eye and around to their beak, which is also black. We could paint that in, but I'm just going to ink it in. And I want to give him some goofy legs. He's the tallest blue jay you've ever seen. That's cute, I love it. Okay, on to the paint. That's simple. We can add in some background stuff too. Oh, Frankie? You got something to say about it? That's what I thought. So we could put in some background stuff if we want to. I'm picturing him like on the sidewalk. I don't know. I think, yeah, let's do that. Let's put him on the sidewalk. So let's get, let me see here. I'm just looking at some pictures online, and their bellies are white. And they've got a blue top on their head. So let's just do that. Oh, that's supposed to be white. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Getting too wild with it. Too reckless. Okay. We'll just even out that off-whitedness. Once we get the rest of the blue in there, it won't look like I messed it up so bad. You might not even be able to tell. You'll know though, and I'll know. Okay, so that's the first layer of blue on the bird, and we will do another layer when it dries because watercolors are worked in layers. So down here, obviously green, because it's grass. You could make it whatever color you want, but I'm going to be boring and make it green. I'm going to add in another shade of green just to keep it fresh. Those slight undulations in color, some changes as your eye moves across it can be really interesting. And it doesn't have to be all shades of green. You can pop in some other colors and make it really interesting. And we're still working with it wet, so it's just going to bleed all over the place and just work itself together. I'm not going to mix it too much. I want it to be kind of crazy colors. Still a little damp. I'm going to work on the background then. I think we've got a green and a blue. I'm thinking orange. Orange and blue is always a good combination. In this case, I'm going to go with a yellowy, golden kind of orange. Quite a bit of water in the brush. I'm not going to be too picky about how evenly covered it is. I just don't want to run into the bird if I can help it. Although if I do, that's okay, because we're just having fun with this, and sometimes those little misregistration kind of looking paint lines that you accidentally paint over a line into the subject matter or into the background, well, it can just add a little bit of charm, and it looks kind of nice. So don't get too worried about how imperfect it looks to you. To other people, it's just part of the beauty. And you'll learn to love those little imperfections. They're what makes life interesting, you know. Okay, I kind of like that. Kind of like that not going all the way to the edges. I like it not going to all the edges in some spots, but I would like it to hit the edges in two spots, one on one side and one on the other. Yeah, I like that. Now, the bird is dry enough to work in, but I'm worried I'm going to touch the outside edges, which are the wet outside background area. So before I do that part, before I work on the bird again, I'm going to do a little on the sidewalk here. Okay, so I think it's dry enough. I can add in a second coat of blue. I don't necessarily want to cover up all of the previous blue. I just want to add in some of this blue so I have some more dimension, some more layers of color. It looks pretty good. Oh, I touched the sidewalk too much. A little fingerprint right there. Easily fixed, especially since it's still wet. Looks pretty good, but I do want to add in some of that brighter blue just as a droplet here and there and let it bleed in. just pick at it a little bit, because picking at it is fun, honestly. Just pushing the paint around is fun. Just want to get it to a point where I feel like I'm happy with it. I don't want it to be too perfectly even, because I don't like when it's too perfectly even. Okay. I really like that guy. He's really fun looking. I think I want to thicken up his outlines a little bit, which I can't do until it's dry. So we will wait until it's dry. And then while we wait for that to dry, I want to do a more realistic version. Not like photorealism, but a little bit more realistic version of a blue jay. So this one, obviously, I'm going to start with the pencil drawing so that I can fix any mistakes. In a cartoony version, in a free and loose version, the mistakes are part of the charm. And we like to leave them in, so that's why we can ignore the pencil at the beginning and just go right for the ink, the meat and the potatoes. But for the realistic-ish version, we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to want to have a pencil for that instead. And here's a tip when you're drawing with pencil. When you are not happy with a line and you want to replace it, you want to move it, don't erase first. If you erase your line and then draw it in again, chances are, most of the time, no matter how experienced you are, you're going to draw that line in the same spot that it was before. And you're going to think, oh, looks good right there. I like it now. Even though it's in the same exact spot. It's an anomaly of the brain. And to get around it, because you'll realize later that it's still wrong and you don't know why, even though you fixed it. I thought I fixed that line. Yeah, no, you didn't. You just drew it back in the same spot that it was before. So when you mess up and want to replace a line, and you're not happy with where it is, then draw it in first, draw in the new line first, and then erase the old line. Even if you end up erasing the new line a little bit first, it's easier to replace it, fix it, and add it in like that. That way you don't be a goofball and just draw it in the same spot that it was before. Sitting on a little branch. Kind of reminds me of that one time I was a little kid and we were at my grandma's place. We were picking plums. She had a whole row of plum trees out behind her house. It was on the border of somebody's farmland. And we would always go out there, and they were tall plum trees. Or were they bushes technically? Whatever. So we would go out there and we were little kids, and we had to go in and climb up the trees or drag a ladder in there somehow and climb up the ladders to get up there and get the good plums that are on the inside that are harder to get at because we're small. And I don't know if you've ever picked plums before, but there's giant thorns, giant ass thorns all over plum bushes, trees, whatever. So yeah, you're getting in there to get these delicious little sugar plums, and you get all stabbed up. It's worth it though. Completely worth it, because they were delicious. And plum jelly. Oh my god, I think I have some plum syrup in the fridge that Mom made. I'm gonna have to make pancakes later. So anyways, one day we were out there picking plums, and there was a little bird sitting on a branch at about the height that we were, like tall, standing, like not when we were crawling around in there, like we were standing around, and there's this little bird sitting on a branch at about our height. And of course we're little kids and we're like, ooh, let's see how close we can get to it before it flies away. Well, we got right up to it. One of us stood right next to it, and we're like, what do we do now? Pet it? I don't know, maybe see if you can touch it. So whoever it was, I don't remember who, me or one of my two younger brothers, reached out and pet this little bird, a little wild bird sitting on a branch. And they just little pet it with little fingers. And then that one of us, whoever that was, one of my brothers I think, was like, okay, well, I've pet the bird, now do you want to? And all three of us got to pet this little bird, this little wild bird, and she sat there so pretty on this branch while all three of us took our turn petting a little wild sparrow or whatever she was. And then when we were done, she's like, all right, well, I'm done here, so bye, and she left. It was amazing. I'll never forget it. So I'm erasing excess pencil lines because I am using watercolor, and with watercolor it's very transparent, so too much pencil line in there and you'll be able to notice it too much, which, I mean, that actually could look kind of nice depending on how you do it, but today I'm just gonna take out the excess pencil. This is all separation from blue to white, so I think I will leave it mostly not there at all, and I'll just remember. We'll see how good that goes, because I have a top-notch memory, don't you know? Okay, I think I'm ready to paint. So his legs look a little weird. I'm kind of okay with it though. So with watercolor, I want to start with the lighter colors first. If we can start with the background first and get it knocked out, that'd be nice too. But mostly the point is to start with the lighter colors first. In this case, I want him to stand out from the background, and he's blue and white. I think I'm going to have a light colored background. Like a, I don't know, I feel like making it pink. With a lot of water, so it's very light. Lots of water. So now I put some pigment down and I'm just adding just plain water to it and letting the pigment disperse among it, throughout it, I should say. And I'm pretty happy with that, so now I can move up to here where the bird is. His legs are going to be black, so I'm not worried about painting over them. Try to avoid painting into the bird. Yep, like I just did. If you act quick, you can push the paint. You can wipe the paint off of an area. And if it's not too dark, if it's got a lot of water in it, it's not an intense color, you can usually be pretty successful in removing it from where you don't want it. If it is too dark, if you can't get it removed quickly like that, there are other ways to deal with that. You can take a brush. If you have a stiff bristle brush, that's pretty helpful. And you can take water, did it again. Take some water in that brush and kind of scrub at the paper without destroying the paper, because that will make the paint look weird if you rip up the paper. But anyways, you can scrub at the paper a little bit and lift it with water and a paper towel. And you don't want to smudge at that point, you don't want to rub. Then at that point you're just going to dab at it. Maybe I'll do a whole video about fixing mistakes at some point. God knows I make enough of them. And really, it's only a mistake if you decide that it's a mistake, right? If it's a problem, then it's a mistake. Otherwise, it's like weeds. Like, a dandelion is only a weed because you've decided that it's a weed. It's a pretty little yellow puffball of a flower. But because you didn't plant it in your yard, it's a weed, and you must eradicate it. Well, it's the same thing. Just because you didn't intend for it to be there, a mark on your painting, doesn't mean that it's not a nice mark. Doesn't mean that it doesn't add something to the painting. So, don't discriminate against mistakes. Sometimes they're good. Happy accident, as the great Bob Ross liked to say. So now I just want to get the bird, get the first layer of blue in there. This bird looks a little bit too much like the reference photo that I'm working from. Should have made it a little bit more different. It's okay. It'll be okay this time. I'm not going to sell it. Alright, so with watercolors, to leave a highlight somewhere, your best option is to leave the paper in that spot white. So it takes a little bit of planning because you don't want to have to come back and add white in later. White watercolor paint is fine, but it doesn't look as good as the white that the paper is. Nothing is as white as the paper is. Okay, so it's pretty wet. Can't really do anything with it until it dries. So the next thing we're going to do, I think this one is dry enough. It is. I wanted to go back into it and thicken up the outline because I think it'll look nice. Oh, hi Frankie. What's up? You coming over here to help me paint? Yeah. You don't want to drink that. That would be kind of gross, I think. I'm pretty sure that would be gross. Don't drink that. And stop stepping on my painting. Okay, that's enough out of you. That's enough out of you, little cat. Okay. So, it's all dry, so adding in the thicker outline should not be an issue. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. He's so cute. And I like how thick the outline is. That's something you want to really consider when you're doing a drawing, is how thick your line is, the weight of your lines, and all that. It's part of it. It matters. I know. I just said it matters. I think they get it. Okay. On to this one. It's still a little damp. Okay, so in that case, we're going to remove the cat from the table again. She seems to think that she has rights to just walk all over the tables, but not in this household. Cats are second-class citizens in this household. Deal with it. They're not really, they're spoiled. They're spoiled AF. Okay, so for this one, this is my wild and crazy, loosey-goosey, off-the-cuff kind of drawing, painting. I might have to do it a couple times, because this is the kind of thing where you draw it once, and if it's good, it's good. It's so good. But if it's not, do it again, because you want that freshness. You can't really edit that freshness into something. I want a thicker pen. None of these. Okay, I found the pen that I wanted. It is a marker pen. It's got a felt tip. And it's a 1, in case you care. In case you care, that's what kind of pen it is. So, let's do... I don't want to look at reference too much for this. I just want to kind of go for it, you know. Swoop those feathers out. They can get closer together as they come in. A little jaggedy. I like how the line broke right there. Ooh, I'm not sure about those. I'm not sure about those. Okay, this head's too tiny. I'm gonna finish it even though I don't like it, so I can see what else I can learn from this stuff. Head's too small, don't really like those feathers. It's not all over, it's not that bad though. We're gonna try it again. It's okay. I'm gonna try one more, maybe 2 more, because I have 2 sides of the paper. I like that a lot. I'll do one more. I kind of love it. I kind of love both of them, but I'm going to go with this one, I guess. Okay, so before we continue, is this one dry? It is dry. So before we do that one, we're going to get another layer of paint on this one. I'm just going to poke at it with the detail brush a little bit. Flip. Okay. Well, this guy's maybe not going to make it to the end of the video.
What are you working on? Some blue jays?
Yeah.
Are they gonna be blue?
Yeah.
Why are they so sad?
I don't like it, but that's okay. We've got 2 other fun paintings to do. So on this one, I'm just going to get some intense pigment, not too much water. Okay, now this is dry enough that I can go ahead and toss in a background. And it's just going to be some wild pink. Felt like pink was an appropriate color for this. I don't know why. Maybe because on that painting I didn't like, I used a pink background, and I want some vindication for a pink background. So the point is just get loose and crazy and free with it. Done. It's great. I love it. So we've got that one that I love, I'm pretty happy with. Needs to dry. Got this one that I don't like. And this one's just too freaking cute. So 3 different ways to approach painting anything really, but in this case blue jays. Get tongue-tied. So if you go ahead and try one of those, let me know, and I would like to see what you come up with. So I was over here editing my video, and my husband Dan was half paying attention to me as I did it, and he insisted that he has the best blue jay drawing of them all. And he did this. So there you go.
Anybody can do it.